Hey viewers and viewresses, my name is General Red Strategist. Welcome back to Sir You're Being Hunted. This is episode 291. It's time for a podcast style episode with myself and the Philster. How are you doing there, Philster? You alright there, Philster?
It's good to be back. It's doing a So You're Being Hunted episode.
Indeed.
With you. I don't know the last one we did.
What
was the last
one
we
we
did
was
together?
A while ago. What was it? I can't actually remember off the top of my head, but
yes,
like I say, episode 291 at the moment, so there's a few pre-recorded, Phil, which you obviously haven't seen yet.
Yeah, because you won't have uploaded it.
Yeah.
But, that's you're 8 away.
I know, yes.
8 away from another big one. I don't know if you've got anything in mind for 300.
I haven't really, no. But we'll see.
Maybe we could do a special.
We could do a special, maybe an extra long special or something, a giant podcast style episode, or maybe
we could do an hour podcast.
We could do. That'd be really
that's
good.
One
actually.
thing. That's a good idea. So the people in the comment section, write if you'd like that for the 300th episode. Would you like to have me and Andrew do a 1 hour long podcast special where we talk about
just anything,
everything,
really.
any topics we can? And if you want to, here's something. If you want to, you can fire us some questions like a sort of Q&A. But it doesn't have to be specifically a Q&A. We can just have a few questions and then just chat about random shit.
Oh yeah, of course we can. Yeah. I'd be up for that. I think it sounds pretty good. So me and you are having we're having a big recording session today. We've got 4 games we're going to be recording.
4 games we're racking up, yes, and we're going to
yes. But this was actually a late addition to today's lineup. You wanted to add this one because you're saying you had something you wanted to talk to me about.
Yes. Now I've been having to think about this because I've watched some videos for various different things relating to this, and it'd be good to have a discussion with yourself about this and with the people in the comments. They can have their own what they would like to do as well. So it's with regards to mysteries.
Oh, right.
And mysteries and things like that. So, for instance, things like the disappearance of Amelia Earhart, the Loch Ness Monster, the things like that. And I want to talk about these today in this sort of podcast episode. One of the things, and people in the comments can tell. But what I've been thinking about is, what sort of mystery you would like, if you could have the chance, what sort you'd like to solve, and maybe what mysteries really intrigued you. So people in the comments, tell us what mysteries you liked and what you would like to solve. But I'm going to talk about one that I would love to solve and was never ever solved ever to this day. I'm talking about the grandfather, the great grandfather of serial killers. That is good old Jack the Ripper.
Oh, Jack the Ripper, eh? Is that you've been taking inspiration there from Assassin's Creed Syndicate?
No, it's not. It's not Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Weirdly, I knew you were going to say that, but no, it's not. It's not. They did do it. Yes, the Assassin's Creed Syndicate there was a DLC for it, all about him as well. But no, Jack the Ripper, one of the most unsolved mysteries of all time.
Yes.
You're bleeding there.
That's a
great start.
Brilliant
Bloody rope boots all over your face.
Yes.
But yes, so Jack the Ripper is the first sort of mystery I want to talk about. Now, obviously, of course, for those who are not too familiar with it, I mean, if you're not familiar, you're probably living under a cave. But I will go through the mystery. So Jack the Ripper was a serial killer who operated in Whitechapel in London during the year of 1888. And he was notorious for, mostly killing prostitutes. That was his main sort of killing thing, and horribly mutilating them as well. Now the thing is, in all of his time, he only ever killed 5 victims.
All right.
Yes, 5 prostitutes, but the way in which he mutilated them was horrendous. And the other thing was he always sent strange and cryptic letters to the police.
All right.
Of course, because the police force there, that was the start of the Metropolitan Police back then. And they sent cryptic called, what were they called now? They started off, what was the...
What are you thinking of there?
No, he always started his letters off with a famous... What was it?
Is it not coming to you all of a sudden?
No, hang on. I'll just have to Google this now.
Yes. You get on Google. Do your little homework there.
Yeah, it was. What was it? Yes, it was always start his letters with. Hang on, let's just put this into Google. Jack the Ripper, letter.
Phil's just furiously typing. I can sort of hear him over the skyline.
That was it. That was it. The From Hell letter.
Oh, okay.
Jack the Ripper. Yeah, that's what it's called. Called Dear Boss. Yes, so they were always sent along to the police, and the police could never work out just who it was.
Yeah. Weird.
One of them, the From Hell letter was the first one where he sent it along with a preserved human kidney.
Ugh.
Well,
Jesus.
yes, but
some people are a bit psychotic out there, aren't they?
That's the one I was talking about. The From Hell Dear Boss letters.
Yeah.
But he'd send these to the police, and the police tried to track him through it, but he never could. Never could. And to this day, no one still knows who Jack the Ripper. Although people have come out with wild theories of things like it was it was actually a woman and everything. What's your view then on Jack the Ripper?
There's a good chance, I suppose, that there was a serial killer who was given that name, but it's one of those things which, again, you're talking about a historical period when no DNA testing, no fingerprinting or anything like that. So the problem, things like that, I suppose there were probably a lot of murders that are from that era which probably just to this day haven't been solved. I wouldn't be surprised if Jack the Ripper is just one of a number of them, to be honest.
I know it's crazy because it's the that's why it's so famous, or should I rather say infamous, because of the fact that we still don't know who it was.
Wow, it's quite an interesting topic though to get onto about mystery and things like that. I wasn't actually expecting that. I thought you were going to talk about something more current affairs related, but
I just having a think about it. So, people in the comments, what's your thoughts on this first mystery, Jack the Ripper?
JDR, yes,
JDR. It would be that's the thing. It'd be lovely to solve, to go out there and work out. But like you said, back then they didn't have fingerprint testing, DNA testing wasn't a thing. The police don't know. Some people say it was actually a woman who was disguised and could in fact been Jill the Ripper.
Jill. Yes. That's also the name, incidentally, of an Adam Sandler movie.
It is, yeah. Yes. God, Adam Sandler, famous for his films not being that brilliant.
Yes. Slightly cringy, rubbishy comedy films.
Yes. So Jack the Ripper is one of a famous sort of mystery that has yet to be solved.
Indeed,
probably won't be solved because it's just too far gone now. But yes, now then, so that's the first mystery I've come up with. Any mysteries that intrigue you or that you would like to solve?
I don't know about ones I think I'd want to solve, but one that is, I suppose, kind of intriguing and which did come to mind as you were kind of talking about mysteries that have never been solved. Have you ever heard that story? I think there was well, this isn't a story; it's a true account. But there was a Prime Minister of Australia who I think back in it was either the 50s or the 60s, I think, who just disappeared without a trace. It was like he went swimming or something.
Sounds familiar. I'm not too sure of the details.
I'm not too sure of the details myself, but I've heard this before. There was like a Prime Minister of Australia. Apparently, he went swimming in like a lake or something, and that was the last anyone ever saw of him. It's like they searched the lake, they searched all around it, but they never found a body or anything like that.
Never found a body.
It's like, to this day, nobody knows what happened to the guy. Did he drown and did they just never find the body, or did something else happen? I think it's one of those things where as time's gone by, probably there's a lot of kind of stories or conspiracy theories or whatever have sprung up around it, probably.
Oh god, there's conspiracy theories about everything, really. I suppose these could be interlinked together, these mysteries with conspiracy theories as well. That's an intriguing little one. It sounds familiar, but I'm not too familiar, not too knowing of the facts on that one.
Indeed, yeah. It's just one that
was a
came
bit
to
of alliteration then, wasn't it?
It was.
I'm not too familiar, but I'm familiar. Familiar.
Familiar with the facts on this fucking case. No.
Whoa!
I'm sorry.
Language.
I'm sorry. Dear me, yes.
Pardon your French, I say. Oh well, that's an interesting one. Another mystery that is quite a famous one. And although I think it has sort of been solved, I've heard, is of course the disappearance of Amelia Earhart.
Oh right, yeah. You mentioned this one a second ago. Go on.
Yes, I mentioned this one earlier. Now, of course, she was in the process of planning to circumnavigate the globe, wasn't she? And unfortunately, she disappeared over. I don't know where it was, but I think it was something to do with the Bermuda Triangle.
Oh right. Is that where she? Okay, yeah.
We'll talk about that one. That's another mystery in a minute. But yes, she disappeared. But there were rumours that they actually managed to find some bones over in one of the Pacific islands, and they did some DNA testing and found out it could have been her bones.
Oh right, which would mean she didn't disappear over the Bermuda Triangle at all.
She just disappeared, but they're not 100% sure at all. But yes, Amelia Earhart was a famous aviator.
Indeed.
back in it's like 1908 or something.
I can't remember when it was. It was sometime in the early 20th century. Probably, I don't know.
Yeah.
Late sort of 1930s at the absolute latest. Somewhere
Yeah,
around
that's
there.
it.
Can't quite
But yeah,
remember. Yeah.
she disappeared.
Indeed, she did.
Really knows where she went. But it's also, of course, linked to the Bermuda Triangle. Now, the Bermuda Triangle's famous for things that go into it just end up missing.
Yeah. Funny thing about the Bermuda Triangle is, though, from what I've heard, that apparently some of the things which people claim are down to it don't actually make sense, because if you look at where the geographical disappearances actually occurred, they're not actually within the triangle. So it's like people have just drawn that triangle because, oh look, it's a rough area that kind of fits.
Hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Bermuda Triangle has 3 sides. Not confirmed.
That's a meme I've not heard for a long time. I appreciate that one. Yes.
Oh, that's funny. That is.
But it checks out. Yes.
They've actually. Have you heard of the? They've got a new Half-Life VR game.
They have Alex.
Half-Life Alex, which is supposed to be set between 1 and 2. Half-Life 1 and 2.
That sign swinging up there.
Yes, I can. I can see that. Yeah. It's for a pub, is it?
Yeah, it's a pub, but I've never actually seen the sign swinging like that before.
Must have a bit of a wind effect.
Yeah. Wow, you learn something new about Surrey being hunted every so often.
Yeah, you do. That's good.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back to your Reflect series as well and have that. But yes, the Bermuda Triangle, I can see what you mean by that. But
but there've been, with the Bermuda Triangle, there's been various theories put forward as to why things have disappeared. Like, ships, for example. There's like theories that say because of like gas eruptions from the seabed, which momentarily displace water under a ship, which basically causes it almost to like sink down into the water.
Yeah.
And thus it swamps, it floods, and it goes under basically quite quickly. But that's one theory. I mean, I don't know how that would explain things like disappearance of aircraft or anything like that, but that's one thing that's been put forward. That's just various things that
various things like that.
Yeah.
What other mysteries I'm thinking of?
Have you?
Of course. I've got one here that's associated with the Bermuda Triangle.
Okay.
It's one of the famous ships, the Mary Celeste.
Yes, I thought Mary Celeste. One was going to come up at some point. Yeah.
Now, the Mary Celeste. I'll go to this. So, for those who don't know, the Mary Celeste was a ship. And it was famous because when they discovered it, they found that all the crew on board had vanished.
Yes.
And everything was like set, like dinner forks and knives and dinner plates and things were set out as though ready for someone to eat off it and things like that. But there was no one there.
It was a weird one, that one. I've seen programs actually on TV about that one before years ago, and it's one of those ones where there's all kinds of theories circulating around about why the crew may have had to abandon that ship in a hurry. It's very fascinating, that one.
Yes, I think that was the thing. It's sort of semi-solved, but where I think they found that the crew had just abandoned ship, just jumped off. It wasn't as though they just vanished.
Yeah, they jumped off, but of course, what I think nobody really knows is why they did that.
Yeah.
But there's theories. I mean, I heard one, for example, that maybe it was something to do with the cargo. Like they had something on there that was causing fumes to leak out into the ship.
Some chemical fumes. Yes, that makes sense. So you don't want to get caught up in that.
No.
But damage
that's maybe why they had to quickly evacuate the ship, get everyone off, and it could be that maybe they just had to evacuate into rough waters and they got swept away from the ship or something. I don't know, something maybe like that. I'm not sure. But, that's just one theory that I think has been advanced, even though, I may be not quite explaining it in the detail perhaps that people want to know. But you can Google it, everybody.
It's not much is known about it.
No.
I mean, the Mary Celeste could have been taken down by a giant kraken.
For all we know. Its crew swept off the deck. They could have been abducted by aliens,
Taken away by the Kraken. Like the Skull and Bones, that game. Yeah, that's. I wonder when that's going to come. It's intriguing to know about that one.
Absolutely. Skull and Bones, the game that has a Kraken in the trailer, and yet everyone complains about there being a female pirate captain and says, it's not realistic. It's like, well, have you seen the freaking Kraken?
Take your face out of your arse. Exactly. Don't need to be. Don't need to be commenting about that. If staying on the ships topics, actually, there's two other mysterious ships. One which we found and solved, but the other one that I'm thinking of right now, before we come to that one, is the Flying Dutchman.
Oh, the Flying Dutchman, the ghost ship. Yes.
The ghost ship. Yes, which apparently is if a sailor sees it, it can cause them bad luck or something like that, isn't it? It was also
the legend. Yes, it's a bad omen. Legend. Yeah. So
it was also in
fucked, basically.
Pirates of the Caribbean, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Davy Jones and all that. Bill Nighy.
That's it. Yes, the Flying Dutchman, and then of course there is the Titanic.
Oh, of course.
Which originally because of mystery unsolved, because no one could find it, but they found it now. Unfortunately. Which is quite sad for it. It is starting to rot.
Yeah,
quite badly.
It is submerged under all that water. It is going to
has been since
down.
Has been since 1912, which is a very, very long time ago.
Have you ever seen like pictures of the Titanic as it lies on the seabed, taken from?
I have, yes.
ROVs?
I've seen pictures. And it's got barnacles and lip pits and all that over it.
It looks really spooky because, of course, it's like really deep down, so it's kind of like in that section of the ocean where it's getting quite dark, and you just see like the shipwreck looming out of the murk as the ROV gets closer.
Apparently, you can visit it, but it costs a lot of money.
Oh, I imagine it does.
You can go with special divers to go down and have a look. So if there's anyone out there does want to have a look and has the money, go quickly because it is rotting very quickly.
I don't know if I had the money, I don't know if I'd want to do something like that personally, because it's like so macabre in a way.
Yeah, it's quite sad
so many
as well.
people died on that thing. I feel like I'm going down into some spooky as hell mausoleum, and no thanks.
Also I find annoying is the dumb people out there. I'm sorry to say this, but there are some dumb people out there who've watched the film The Titanic and gone, "Oh my God, look, it's the ship based off the film." Are you kidding?
Really? Are there actually people who say that?
Yeah, there is. I had to. That's a quadruple face. If I had four hands, quadruple face palm moment. So it's hitting my face so hard, my hand goes through my forehead and out the other end.
Yeah, and back again. Yes.
No.
Oh God, that's one of those moments though. If I saw that, I would generally be confused. I would think for a second, you can't surely be this dumb, right? You've got to be trolling. You've got to be. This has got to be a troll.
That's what you think. That's what you think, isn't it? You think. Right, moving on to another mystery. This is not a ship-related mystery, although it is related into water.
Oh, okay.
And that's, of course, I did mention it earlier.
Oh, yes.
So to get your the Loch Ness Monster.
Indeed.
Yes. Now, I think this has been debunked.
Yeah.
The original picture was just supposedly a periscope with a thing on top.
Yeah. Some people saying it might have been like a careful picture someone took of maybe like a toy things floating in the water. That's one possible explanation I've heard about it, but
toilet boat. That was funny then, how we talked about Loch Ness Monster and the sea beast turned up.
Yeah.
Is that your cousin?
Like, somebody call for me? Yes.
But yeah, it was obviously a photograph taken way back, and people thought it's real. Oh my God! Oh, then it was turned out to just be maybe like a little toy boat.
Yeah. To be honest, though, I think a lot of if you go to any like large lake or body of water, there will at some point in history probably have been a legend about some monster living in it. Because I know that apparently, if you go to the Lake District, for example, I think it's Lake Windermere, there is actually.
The largest lake in England.
Yeah, there's actually a sort of myth about there being like a creature from English folklore that apparently lives in it, and it's like a big reptilian monstrosity. And apparently in the 1960s there were several scientists who actually tried to investigate it, but of course they never found anything. So
I think it's the same with big people. People have dived and gone under in the Loch Ness.
Yeah.
And not seen anything.
What are you saying that episode of The Simpsons where Homer and Mr. Burns went to Scotland? You're saying that was not based on a true story?
No. But it's funny some of the Simpsons episodes have predicted things in the future, which is actually quite funny.
Like
but
Trump
yes,
being elected, yes,
that was bizarre. That one.
If they predicted Trump being elected, I'm just waiting for the day when Arnold Schwarzenegger gets elected to the presidency. Yeah, that is me. I was elected to lead, not to read. Oh man,
they've got the
yes.
Okay, so that's the Loch Ness. What other mysteries have we got? I'm just thinking.
Yes, I'm trying to think of some as well.
So right, another mystery that I have, which can be linked to conspiracy theories as well, is of course none other than the one of the most evil men of all time, Adolf Hitler.
Oh right. Oh, is this? I think I can guess.
Yes,
But go on.
he never died and was taken on a boat to Argentina.
That's a common one. I've heard other ones where he gets taken elsewhere. A lot of them obviously focus on South America as a place because obviously a lot of Nazis. There were some Nazis rather who fled there after the war. But I've heard ones, for example, about Hitler escaping to a secret Nazi base in Antarctica, things like that.
Yes. Oh yeah, I've heard that one. Yeah. And they never actually did find his remains, but I think they did find his remains.
I think they did, didn't they? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did. It took them a while, but I'm pretty sure they did.
I'm not 100% sure on that, but I know they wouldn't have taken out to Argentina or the Antarctic or anything like that. No. And even if they did and everything, and he lived out, today he'd be long dead.
It would be. Yeah. Unless you believe in secret Nazi experiments to extend his life, which there will be ones who do. Yes.
Of course, there's these theories like this. Yeah, you have it. But yes, Adolf Hitler. I was just. Oh, I think that's another one then. Yes, of course, another one that can link to conspiracy theory, the assassination of JFK.
Indeed, was there a second person and all that? Yeah.
Yeah.
The Grassinol. Yes.
That's it. Who got assassinated in? I think it was 1963.
Yeah, 63. Yeah. Old JFK in Dallas, Texas. Indeed, Lee Harvey Oswald.
That's it, Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yes.
Abraham Lincoln, another one who got assassinated.
Indeed. I mean, we're sort of beyond kind of just pure mystery here into the realm of conspiracy theory. Which is one of those things where it's not so much a mystery. Everybody really kind of agrees on what happened. It's just that there's those people out there who won't accept the official explanation.
Well, it is. It's a mystery. It's a mystery to my brain as to why these people still think of it.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what we thinking of.
Yeah. The classic other one is, of course, the moon landings were faked and all that.
Oh,
which
good God!
Has been debunked so many times.
I know.
Yeah. Yes.
It's just people saying like Neil Armstrong went across the camera, and then as soon as he went behind the camera and went, "We fooled him. We bloody fooled him. We did." Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just trying to think. What other mysteries have we mysteries have we got?
We've got the Mystery Machine. That's a Scooby-Doo ref. No. Why did my mind go there? I don't know.
Mystery that I was absolutely astonished about the other time I think we were playing So You're Being Hunted
right.
was I found out that General Red was you.
Really? Wow, you never saw that coming, did you?
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't.
That was a complete mystery, that one.
Mind blown on Phil's
bang,
right there. Yeah. Yes.
Talk about that as well. Mysteries. There have been strange mysteries in video games.
Oh, yeah.
One of the most famous is related to the Grand Theft Auto series, and specifically Grand Theft Auto San Andreas with the Bigfoot.
Oh, Bigfoot, right.
I don't know if you've heard of this. Yeah.
No, I don't think I have.
It's actually a mystery in the real world as well, because people are claiming to see Bigfoot and Sasquatch and all that.
Yes.
But in Grand Theft Auto, there were people like taking pictures of what supposedly was Bigfoot roaming around the woods.
Yeah.
And people getting over it, but it was not fake. It was like a mod or a just thing like that, movement in the trees, but it wasn't really a thing. And it's actually also a mystery in the real world because people have said, "Oh, I've sighted Bigfoot."
Indeed, yeah.
And
speaking of a video game mystery, which back in the day, when Minecraft was at its heyday, the old Herobrine mystery. Do you remember that one?
That was a mystery.
That was a fucking ridiculous one because I remember watching this video that someone posted purportedly who'd seen Herobrine and was like, "Oh, I saw him. I have evidence that he exists." And it was like this freaking 10-minute video, 9 minutes of which was just the guy describing a game of Minecraft he'd been playing, and then I dug some coal, and then I went back up out my mine, and then I went and chopped down some trees, and it went on like this for fucking 10 minutes. I was like, okay, when are we going to get to Herobrine here.
Exactly,
And then suddenly at the very end, it's like, oh yeah, and then I turned around and I saw this guy, and I took this screenshot, and it just shows a screenshot, and you can literally tell that Herobrine is nothing more than a painting that someone has retextured and just flung up on a wall. And it's like, well, all that just for that.
That's quite funny,
my
actually.
God.
Yeah, and even Notch went with it. It was supposed to be based off his dead half brother.
Yeah, it was kind of ridiculous.
But it was kind of ridiculous. Yeah,
I know.
But that's a little ridiculous one.
Minecraft Troll of the Century. There you go.
I know it was, wasn't it?
It was.
I'm trying to think of some more mysteries.
Mysteries, yeah.
One of the biggest mysteries. This is a good question to ask yourself and to ask the people in the comment section as well.
Go ahead.
It's one of the biggest questions of all time, I think we'd say. And it is, are we alone?
Oh, are we alone in the universe?
Yes.
Well.
Now, if we think about it, the universe is infinitely big. So for me, I would say no.
Indeed,
we are not alone. There's so many planets and Milky Way systems, galaxies, and other multiverses and things out there. There's got to be another form of life.
Yeah, I mean, statistically, the odds are in favour of it, even if it's just that question of will we ever actually make contact with them. And given the sizes involved, it's that probability of, well, if we did, probably not for a very, very long time yet.
Exactly.
Assuming
not for a very long time. Yeah. Maybe it's not going to be in our solar system, but we've obviously sent that Voyager craft out, haven't we?
Yeah, Voyager.
With pictures of what we look like. And it's left the solar system now.
Aye, yes.
It's out there. So that's the thing. Yeah, so people in the comment section, do you believe that we're alone? Or do you believe that there are other life forms out there? And how would we describe what a life form is?
The thing is, Phil, I have evidence of the existence of aliens. You just need to turn on TV and go on to Love Island and all that, and you see some weird-looking life forms on there. But sure,
there is. Yeah,
oh dear.
You do see some weird life forms. Exactly.
Disclaimer: I do not watch Love Island. I never have, and I have no intention of ever doing so. So yes, just putting that out of the way in case anyone thinks I've actually been watching that. I haven't.
Oh God! Don't watch it. It's just utter garbage.
It is.
Utter rot.
Tripe.
Utter absolute rot.
I mean, if you enjoy that kind of thing, then power to you and all that. But personally, come on now, really, we're going to be real TV elitists here, Phil. Only intellectuals here on the General Red Strategist channel.
That's it. Only intellectuals. That's what we have.
Indeed.
I've just been thinking as well. This is. It's not really a mystery, but it's more that it's something that's happening right now, which is, I suppose, it would be good to mention because it's pretty much everywhere and everything. That is, of course, the coronavirus.
Coronavirus, yes.
Jesus Christ!
I know.
It's non-stop. There's not non-stop talk about it.
I know.
I mean, in every thing, it's non-stop. They're like businesses are shutting down. They were at my work. They were suggesting for people to work from home. But it is it's devastating.
I know. It's
actually, turning into a pandemic.
Yeah, I was actually talking in the previous episode, obviously about the panic buying people have been doing and all that. People have been going a bit mental with it.
Oh God, the panic buying!
What's been your experience?
People like getting toilet rolls and sanitizers and oh my good God, the supermarkets are swept clean of sanitizer.
It's funny because a couple of weeks ago, well, not a couple of weeks ago, it's just under a couple of weeks ago, I went into my local supermarket. Everything stocked up fine. Went in just a few days later, and toilet rolls completely out, surface cleaner completely out, garden peas, frozen garden peas completely out, dried pasta completely out of that. Tin section was looking a lot emptier. It was ridiculous. Yeah,
people just, it's like it's just getting a bit worked up over nothing. I know it's quite a deadly virus, but you don't need to be like that too much, stocking up like that. But we're not falling to a nuclear winter.
No. And the thing is, like, in this day and age, it's not like, and I get it, if you have to self-isolate and you are worried that you're not going to be able to go to the shops for a few weeks. But the thing is, in this day and age, a lot of stores do home delivery and all that, so you don't need to rush into a store and just buy up as much as you can. You can just order it online. And the thing is, like, my mother was actually telling me, apparently there's a factory up in, I think, Salford or somewhere it is, that manufactures toilet rolls, and in response to all this panic buying, they actually put out some tweets and social media posts saying, guys, you don't need to worry. We manufacture 41 million of these per week. We are not going to be running out of toilet
That's
roll
good.
and stuff like
41
that.
million. God, imagine we can do with 41 million toilet
I know,
papers.
yeah. Imagine
That would be
you know,
something.
you could prank your worst enemy by covering them up in toilet roll and turning them into an Egyptian mummy.
That's it. That's all it was with Egyptian
Yes.
mummies, just in bandages.
Yeah, it's a little known fact, Phil, that the Egyptians didn't use specialised bandages for mummy making. They just went into the bathroom and got some toilet roll. Yeah.
I mean, he even said that in Assassin's Creed Origins, and I thought, well, that's got to be true.
Yes, it's a general fact.
Supposedly, the virus actually originated in a seafood market in Wuhan.
Yes.
Yeah. Apparently, the virus actually originates itself inside these animals, and then it jumped to people. That's how it happened in this seafood market.
Indeed. Yes.
And then it jumped from I don't know how it developed in the animals itself, but it jumped from them to the people, and then that's how it started. And there's been so many events as well. Have you heard that have been cancelled?
Oh yeah.
London Marathon, Boston Marathon. Obviously, there's no football today.
Indeed.
Which is made. I know.
Amazing for the UK. You know it's serious when there's no flipping football on. Jesus.
There's no football. They're thinking of the Euros. They're thinking of skipping a year until next year. I don't know. They haven't postponed or cancelled the Olympics yet, but it's probably.
I know. I think the Olympics is one of those ones which, yeah. I think it would be pretty fucking serious if they had to cancel that one.
I mean, they've done the running of the Olympic flame, but they've had no spectators. Apparently,
I know.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, I feel bad for the Olympic Committee and all those authorities in Tokyo who are now worried about what they're just going to do.
Well, yeah, because they've spent loads of money on building all the stadiums.
Indeed.
Or stadia, whatever the plural of stadium is. I think it's stadia. And there's the potential of this, but it has it was like the you remember back in 2001 with the foot and mouth disease.
Oh yeah, oh god, I remember that.
Yeah. SARS. We had SARS back then. That turned into a massive pandemic.
God, you know what I remember about BSE? I remember going on days out with the family. We'd be all in the car driving up to the Lake District or wherever, and of course you go through like the little checkpoints where you have to like drive your car literally through a pool of like disinfectant substances.
Oh god!
So like it disinfects the tires and like things like that. It was crazy.
no one liked any beef or veal. It was just like no, would not eat it.
Not for me.
That was back. I think it was 2001.
It was. Yeah, I remember it from childhood. Yeah. So
the worst of the coronavirus affected areas at the moment seems to be Italy.
Yeah, Italy with those lockdown. Yes.
It has gone to lockdown. We've got more. There's cases around where I live. I've heard lots. Must be some near you at the moment. I'm sure.
There probably will be, but I've not really heard of any. There were some momentary concerns at where I work that maybe there were a couple of members of staff who had been recently returning from various parts of the world, but there's nothing apparently come of that. I think they were given the all clear, but
that's good. Yes. That's good to have that. What is funny is the fact that it started in December. Late December, and you tuned into the news and it was like, oh, there's this virus strain in Wuhan that's just gone off, and everyone was like, oh right, okay, well, whatever. And everyone was just like, okay, poor old China, we move on. Indeed. And all of a sudden it's just
exploded
because someone in Wuhan decided to take a plane to somewhere.
I know, but that's the nature of. I mean, I was saying this in the previous episode, but that's the nature of the world we live in now. A globalized world with cheap air travel, things like that. You can just get diseases which would normally be contained in localized regions now have the potential to spread quite rapidly to other parts of the world.
That's the problem, but luckily we do have the medicines today that they didn't have back then.
Indeed, yes.
Which they have. So supposedly the early onset symptoms of coronavirus, well, the first one is supposed to be a dry cough.
Yeah.
Anyway,
there we are.
Dry cough, and I think it's
fever,
and then shortness of breath.
Yeah.
Now, worryingly, some of the symptoms are very similar to cold flu symptoms.
Yeah. So, if ever in doubt, contact your health authorities and get advice from them, ladies and gentlemen.
If you don't want to self-isolate, that's fine, but people who do need to, especially elderly. Elderly have got to, or people with a weakened immune system. Yeah,
indeed.
That's why I texted my parents just to make sure our granddad was okay.
Yeah.
But he doesn't move much. He's basically in his house all day.
Yeah.
But he does have carers who come round.
Indeed, yes.
They've got elderly people have really got to be people with weakened immune systems as well. You've really got to be careful about it because it is starting to be devastating, and it's non-stop on the news.
Yeah.
If you go onto the BBC website, just the front page is how to protect against coronavirus. What is the coronavirus? Coronavirus hits 15 more people in the UK.
Indeed, yes.
Yeah.
Does coronavirus have anything to do with the beer? Because apparently there were people actually asking that when it.
Well, luckily I don't drink beer,
so you're safe. Yes.
What else is coming up soon as well? We have to start thinking about. It's here. They don't do it in the US until May, I don't think, and that's Mother's Day.
Oh, Mother's Day, yes.
Now I remember last time you did I think it was a post Mother's Day roundup.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, you did one of your survey videos. You did a post Mother's Day roundup. I think it was 2018.
Oh, you sure that's not post Remembrance Day? That was because I remember doing post Remembrance.
No, you did
Day
do a Mother's Day. You did do a Mother's Day
maybe
one.
I did do a Mother's Day one. Can't actually remember that. I'll have to check. Yeah, go back and have a look at it.
Yeah, that's coming up soon. 22nd of March, I think it is. So I'm going to have to start.
Yeah, 22nd of March. That's correct. Yeah.
You have to start finding some little gifts for my mother.
Yeah, for old Mother. Yes. Old Mother Philip. Yes. Yes. Well,
Mother hen.
Old Mother Hen. Yes. Get to
after baby chicks.
Baby chicks. Yes. Absolutely. There you go.
So to all those people out there, yes, do be careful of the coronavirus, and make sure you're well protected.
Yeah.
Don't do what all these people are doing and just go panic buy, because you really don't need to panic buy.
You don't.
At the end of the day.
So, this has been advice from myself and Phil. Public safety announcement and all that.
General Red and General Blue.
Yes. General Red and Blue Boy, yes.
Blue Boy. Oh, no. You know who we are. You know who we are. Jellyfish and Urchin.
That's the ones. Jellyfish and Urchin, yeah. That Medal of Honor Allied Assault has gone out as a bonus video just today, as when we record this.
Yes, I know. I've watched
That's probably where you got the reminder from. Yeah. Yes, it's been Jellyfish and Urchin giving you a PSA telling you to get a card for your coronavirus and self-isolate your mother. There you go, everybody. That's the absolutely correct, 100% right advice to do.
I wonder if the coronavirus could talk right now, it's probably going, I'm getting famous.
Yes, indeed. Something like that. I'm getting famous here, lads and lasses. I'll just infect a few more people. Indeed.
And then, you have to be. Oh no, that will work, will it? No, I was just thinking of because it is a virus, isn't it? It's not bacteria. It's a virus, so antibiotics won't work against it.
No. Well, as long as you wash your hands, you're fine, according to the government and all that. But yes, there you are.
Keep your hands clean.
Keep your hands clean. Sneeze all over them and then rub it all in. Lovely. There you go. Yes. Sorry. Am I speaking from a serious point of view here, or am I talking from the point of view of jellyfish? I don't know. Yes. Jellyfish, the evil trickster of the sea. There you go.
Well, also, they have no brains, so...
They don't. They have no brains.
Made of 95% water.
Yeah, there you go.
So, essentially, you're dumb, and you're just full of water.
Hang on, if they're 95% water, and our body's like 70% water, does that mean I'm 70% jellyfish?
No.
No.
But, funnily enough, here's a funny fact. We do share 70% of our DNA with a banana.
Indeed we do, yes. So
Which is
70% jellyfish and 70% banana, it seems, yes.
No, because that doesn't make
No, it doesn't.
Does it?
No.
I think your maths was waning a bit there.
My mathematics is perfect, Phil. Okay, yes, you know. You're questioning my mathematics, eh? Oh,
yeah, well, Seabeck certainly was questioning your mathematics.
Yeah, he's like so triggered by the numbers there. He pops up and say, "Well, you fucking what, mate?"
I'm the Loch Ness monster, me.
Right. Yes.
No. Oh, he's gone. Oh my God, he's gone. It was Loch Ness monster.
You can actually
there it is, Loch
see,
Ness.
Yeah.
What's in the Loch? Lomond. That's it. That's one of the other famous lochs in Scotland.
Scotland. Morning, Scotland. I go to the lochs and get my coronavirus. Yes.
Famous for deep frying everything, even Mars bars.
Oh shit! Self-isolate myself down at Chippy. Yeah.
They also have haggis. Have you ever tried haggis?
I haven't, no.
No, I haven't either. No. I don't think I really want to be honest.
Not really.
It's like everything boiled in a sheep's stomach, isn't it?
I can't really say Scotland is known for the sort of cuisine which you'd think, and he says, I could just go for a good haggis right now.
No, but they do have iron brew. Iron brew.
Iron brew. That's famous cuisine. Iron brew, haggis, and a deep fried Mars bar. There you go.
Oh, look at
just feel
all
the
calories.
Health. Yes.
The health on that.
I can just feel the fat clogging in my arteries as I say that. There you go. Okay, well, I've been just paying attention to time. I think, do you think this would be a good time to wrap up here, Philip?
Yes, I think it will be a good time. And for those people in the comments, tell us what mysteries you like, or what other mysteries you know that we haven't talked about here, and what you'd like to solve. If there's any other mysteries you have, talk to us about them.
Indeed,
and
yes.
As well as that, also for the if you want us for the 300th episode to do an hour-long podcast.
Oh yeah. Don't forget to say
don't forget to do that.
as well.
Maybe ask some questions as well, and we can always answer them while we have a little chat about things.
Indeed, we can. Yes. So thank you then, everybody, for joining us for episode 291 of So You're Being Hunted. This has been Jellyfish and Urchin here, and we're about to sign off. Yes. You know what?
With mysteries, coronavirus, and other sorts of stuff.
Absolutely. And Scotland. Yes, the most important topic. There you go, everybody. Facebook and Twitter links down below as usual, along with Propagandist channel link if you're interested in seeing that. If you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like, comment as Phil said, and all that jazz. You know the drill by now. So yeah, this is two of us signing off. Give us your best sea urchin impression, Phil. Wow, I didn't realise they actually make sound. Well, goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Oh shit! Okay, that's an interesting flag. That's the rising sun combined with the stars and stripes. Hang on, so is this country like a fusion of America and Japan? How interesting. Yes, well, yeah, that is interesting. What?
He's on the quiet day. I can't like this now. I can't like this now. I'm not that kind of girl. He's on the quiet day. I can't like this now. I can't like this now. I'm not that kind of girl. He's on the quiet day. I can't like this now. I can't like this now.
Okay, fine. That's enough of that. God. In-game S&M. Why do I still have the fly swatter?